Gloria Allred, and you're watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Gloria, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's World News headlines, hands up walkout sweeps U.S. as Obama unveils police reforms. In St. Louis Rams, police differ on apology over protest. And ISIS leader's wife, child detained in Lebanon. And UN cuts food aid to 1.7 million Syrian refugees. In Kenya's Al-Shabaab militants kill 36 workers. And WHO Ebola targets met in Guinea and Liberia. And UN Ebola response mission cited progress. And Russia scraps gas pipeline in Europe amid Ukraine tensions. And in West Virginia, gunman accused of domestic violence kills 4. And police Austin, Texas shooter linked to Christian hate group. And in Mexico, outrage marks Peña Nieto's second anniversary. 11 protesters released. And in Colombia, general resigns after release from FARC rebels. And Bahrain's activist Mariam Akhawaja jailed for a year in absentia. And Bill Cosby resigns from Temple University Board as abuse reports hit 20. And UVA president vows to address rape on campus after protest. And Snowden and McKibben among recipients of Right Livelihood Award. And 30th anniversary of the Bhopal disaster marked. GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, a division of Rural County's television network whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, in more than 30 U.S. cities, workers and students walked out of schools or off job Monday with their hands raised in protest police shooting of unarmed black teenager Michael Brown. In Washington, D.C., protesters staged a die-in at the Justice Department. Cambridge, Massachusetts, dozens laid down a major intersection in Harvard Square. President Obama, meanwhile, issued his first major policy response, announcing a community policing initiative. And he said the sense that in a country where one of our basic principles, perhaps the most important principle, is equality under the law, that too many individuals, particularly young people of color, do not feel as if they are being treated fairly. As I said last week, and when any part of the American family does not feel like it's being treated fairly, that's a problem for all of us. As a race car's blade. Obama's plan includes $75 million to equip police with body cameras. He also announced an executive order to tighten rules on provision of military-grade equipment to local police, but vowed to leave transfers mostly intact. Speaking in Atlanta, Georgia, Attorney General Eric Holder, the thief, also announced steps to curb racial profiling. We will Well, anyway, I don't even want to talk about them anymore because it's ridiculous. They shouldn't even get involved. St. Louis County Police say an official with the St. Louis Rams football team has apologized after players raised their arms in the air before a game in gesture of solidarity with Michael Brown. But Rams Executive Vice President Kevin Dumoff told the St. Louis Post-Dispatch he did not apologize, but merely told the police he regretted any offense their officers may have taken. Lebanese army has detained the wife and child of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, leader of the militant group Islamic State Muslim terrorists, which has claimed swaths of Iraq and Syria. The news comes as the United States has continued airstrikes against the group, and at least 55 since Friday. Meanwhile, a U.S. fighter pilot has died in a non-combat crash, reportedly in Jordan. The United Nations World Food Program has suspended its aid to 1.7 million Syrian refugees due to budget shortfalls after donor nations have failed to deliver on their pledges. UN agencies said the move could be disastrous for Syrians in countries like Lebanon and Turkey. In northern Kenya, Somalia militants from the group Al-Shabaab, another Muslim Islamic terrorist group, have killed 36 non-Muslim workers at a quarry near the town of Mandera. Last week, the group killed 28 people in an attack on a bus in the same area. World Health Organization says Liberia and Guinea are met a goal to treat 70% of patients suffering from Ebola, while Sierra Leone has not. Agency warned it may reach the year-end goal to isolate and care for all patients, but Anthony Banbury, head of said the global response to the Ebola crisis has succeeded in turning this crisis around, where we were 60 days ago compared to where we are now, and I am talking about all actors in the response, are extremely successful in getting this crisis under control. We are far away from being out of the woods, but there has been remarkable results achieved in the past 60 days. And Russian President Vladimir Putin has scrapped plans for a major gas pipeline in Europe amid tensions over Russia's role in the Ukraine. After the European Union opposed the pipeline, Putin announced the gas would instead flow to Turkey. Kind of helping out the ISIS people, I guess. In West Virginia, a man suspected of killing 4 people in a shooting spree has been found dead in an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police say Jody Lee Hunt was suspected in 3 shootings. One of the people he killed had filed a domestic violence case against him. And in Austin, Texas, police say a man who opened fire on a government building and tried to burn down the Mexican consulate was an American terrorist. Oh, I thought it was workplace violence, with ties to the Christian hate group, a Christian hate group. Police say Larry McWilliams had expressed frustration over immigrants receiving aid while he could not find a job. He had multiple weapons and a map of 34 potential targets when he was shot dead by the police. In Mexico, outrage erupted across the country on the second anniversary of Mexican's president Enrique Peña Nieto's rule as protesters denounced the state-backed violence, corruption, and disappearance of 43 students. In September, over the weekend, 11 people were held in maximum security prisons after an earlier protest were released following an international outcry. Anger intensified after a university student, Sandino Bucchio, was grabbed off the streets Friday by undercover police whom he said threatened to rape and disappear him. In Colombia, FARC rebels have released a general and 2 other hostages captured last month. General Ruben Dario Alzate, I'm not sure, resigned shortly after his release, saying he should have taken more precautions. His kidnapping prompted Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos to suspend peace talks aimed at ending the 50-year conflict with the FARC. And Bahraini human rights activist Mariam Al-Khawajah has been sentenced to a year in prison in absentia for what she says are false charges of assaulting police, which means that Al-Khawajah could face prison if she returns to Bahrain, where her father, human rights activist Abdul Hadi Akwajin, is serving a life term. Bahrain is a key, Bahrain is Bahrain. Comedian Bill Cosby has resigned from the board of the trustees of Temple University amid mounting claims that he drugged and sexually assaulted women over a period of 4 decades. Other institutions, including Cosby's alma mater at University of Massachusetts Amherst, have cut ties with Cosby as the number of his alleged victims has hit 20. President of the University of Virginia canceled a speaking event in Washington, D.C. Monday to deliver a speech at the university vowing to steps to address sexual assault. An article in the Rolling Stones magazine about the gang rape by fraternity members revealed a pattern of rape and impunity and sparked protests on campus. President Teresa Sullivan had outlined steps, including increasing policing and an added trauma counselor. And in Stockholm, Sweden, the Right Livelihood Award, known as the Alternative Nobel Prize, has been awarded to 5 people, including National Security Agent whistleblower Edward Snowden. Snowden accepted by video link from Russia and said, "All the prices we've paid, all the sacrifices we made, I believe we would do again. I know I would do again, because it is never about me. This is about us. This is about our rights. This is about what kind of societies that we want to live in, the kind of government that we want to have." Snowden was honored along with Alan Roseberger, editor of the Guardian newspaper, whose published reports used Snowden's leaks to expose sweeping NSA surveillance. The other Right Livelihood honorees were Pakistani human rights activist Asma Jahangir and Basil Fernando, an Asian Human Rights Commission in Hong Kong, and U.S. environmentalist Bill McKibben. And the 30th anniversary of the Bhopal disaster just happened, the worst industrial tragedy in history. Campaigners say that more than 20,000 people died as a result of a toxic gas that leaked from Union Carbide's pesticide factory. Over 500,000 more were poisoned. Toxic legacy continues as Union Carbide and its parent firm, Dow Chemical, has refused to pay for cleanup or face charges in Indian court. And that's it for our World News today. Now, another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News.
Seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon, I could go to space. With the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm clap along if you feel like a room without.
That's right, it's time for the police blotter. Pictures in the blotter are not from these actual events, but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained from daily logs issued from Nevada County Law Enforcement. Grass Valley Police Department on Sunday, 1:53 p.m. A caller from 400 block of Colfax Avenue reported a very large man yelling at himself, throwing items into the road, and punching street signs. He could not be located. 3:49 p.m. a caller from 100 block of Neal Street reported 5 people panhandling to raise money for their dog. They were gone when officers arrived. And 7:27 p.m. a caller from 300 block of Sutton Way reported a neighbor honking a loud horn, refusing to stop. The complaint was unfounded. At 11:14 p.m. a caller from 600 block of South Auburn Street reported a theft. And on Monday, 12:29 a.m. an alarm call was responded to in a 1900 block of Nevada City Highway. A business door was found open and resecured. Could not be determined if there was anything missing. In Nevada County Sheriff's Office on Sunday, 9:53 a.m., a man from 12,000 block of Shepherd Road reported a bear. 12:20 p.m., a woman from 19,000 block of Noatok Canyonway reported a huge herd of cattle eating all her landscaping. 3:48 p.m., a woman from 20,000 block of Wolf Creek Road reported a man threw items at her, causing injury. 11:48 p.m., a caller from 11,000 block of Crystal Wells Road reported a drunken neighbor was trying to drive his truck through a fence and was honking his horn. He was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence and resisting arrest. And on Monday, 12:24 a.m., a man from 14,000 block of Linshaw Road reported a man turned off the power to a trailer. Man was arrested on suspicion of interfering with the power line and resisting arrest. And 4:24 a.m., a caller from 12,000 block of Torrey Pines Drive reported vehicle tires were slashed and the windshield was broken. In Nevada City Police Department, on a Wednesday, 5:01 p.m., caller from Highway 20 and Gold Flat Road reported hitting a deer. And Thursday, 4:38 p.m., a caller from Cabin Street reported a trespasser had set up a home in an outbuilding. And on Friday, 5:04 p.m., a woman reported a man had been following and watching her over the last couple of weeks. And Saturday, 4:59 a.m., a caller from 200 block of Broad Street reported a man threatened a staff member. He was arrested on suspicion of being drunk in public and told jailed staff his occupation was growing marijuana. And Sunday, 36 a.m., a caller from 100 block of Sacramento Street reported two men in a physical fight. And 5:53 a.m., a caller from 400 block of Spring Street reported a man running back and forth on a balcony who might be trying to jump. He was arrested on suspicion of being under the influence of a controlled substance and violating probation. 3:03 p.m., caller from 200 block of Commercial Street reported a man cursing at people, emptying a garbage can in the street and throwing it around. And on Monday, 1:10 a.m., a caller from 400 block of Railroad Avenue reported a fire in the parking lot. And that's it for the blotter today. Now thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's local news headlines, open case from 2009 leads to man's arrest on drug and weapons charges. And Victorian Christmas begins this Sunday. And Grass Valley Parent Group created to keep students safe on campus. Narcotic detectives checking on a man with an open case dating back to 2009 ended up arresting him after reportedly finding drugs, guns, and cash at his residence. Deputies went to the residence of Adam Michael Cunningham, 38, 14,000 block of Brush Creek Court on Tuesday because he was still in search terms from a court-ordered release on his own recognizance, said Sheriff Lieutenant Bill Smethers. Cunningham was arrested in 2006 for possession of concentrated cannabis, but the charge was dismissed according to court records. He was arrested in 2009 for being under the influence of a controlled substance, was released on an OR, and then failed to appear in court. $5,000 bench warrant was issued in February 2010. Case appeared to have remained open. We paid him a visit to check up on him, Smethers said. A search of the residence reportedly uncovered 5 grams of heroin, several pounds of marijuana, and several syringes, as well as a little more than $5,000 in cash, .22 caliber rifle, and a 12-gauge shotgun. Detectives also located honey oil lab with approximately 20 PVC pipes, half of which were packed full of marijuana, as well as extraction tubes and several cases of butane. Smithers added. Cunningham was arrested on suspicion of manufacturing a controlled substance, possession of controlled substance, and drug paraphernalia, possession of controlled substance while armed, committing a felony while armed, and the outstanding warrant. He's being held in lieu of a $41,000 bail. Downtown Nevada City's annual holiday celebrations, Victorian Christmas, will be taking place from Wednesdays and Sundays through December, but there is a new schedule this year. The lineup includes an additional Sunday and one less Wednesday. We took to a survey of merchants last year, and there has just been 3 people opposed to it, said Kathy Whitsley, executive director of the Nevada City Chamber of Commerce. Sunday, we get a lot of out-of-town people, Whitsley added. It's during the daylight hours, and it seems like we get massive crowds. Teresa Mann at J.J. Jackson's said she was pleased with the new schedule for the Victorian Christmas. I love it, Mann said. I feel that we're a lot more energized during the daytime. Mann also stated that Black Friday had gone well in downtown Nevada City. The weekend went wonderfully. We had a lovely flow of people and they came through each day. It was nice to see everyone seemed to be so relaxed, she said, and I think everyone appreciated this save time, energy, and of not going down the hill. Not everyone was as enthusiastic about the new schedule. Nevada City Winery's general manager, John Chase, said he doesn't expect much of a boost in sales due to the additional Sunday added to the Victorian Christmas lineup. He said, I think it's a wash. We'll get more people on Sunday, but we'll get less people on Wednesday. It's normally not a very busy day for us because most people are at work, he added. If you bring people in on a Wednesday, that helps. This year's Victorian Christmas will take place in downtown Nevada City from 1:30 to 6 Sundays, December 7th, 14th, and 21st. Festivities will also occur on 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Wednesday nights, December 10th and 17th. When it was reported to police that a strange man attempted to abduct a student at Margaret G. Scotton Elementary School in September, Heather McNeely rushed over to pick up her second-grade son once school let out. When she got there, she saw teachers, administrators, and law enforcement at the school lining the driveway in what Scotton principal John Baggett calls their all-hands-on-deck safety procedure. It was very powerful to see them out there and feeling the presence, McNeely said. I knew that in a couple days it would go back to normal, and I thought, why let it go back to normal? Why not keep it up? Because it felt so good. After talking with another mother at the school, McNeely was encouraged to approach the school with an idea of starting a parent group to act as extra set of eyes on campus. I know that there's moms that are there anyway, dropping the kids off and picking them up, so I thought, why not keep this up? She also added, Mr. Baggett said I could get more people involved and get a schedule going, that he was all in. After more than a month of reaching out to parents and community members, McNeely has gotten a small group of 6 volunteers together to take morning and afternoon shifts before and after school to walk to campus, greeting students and parents while keeping a lookout for strange activities in the area. The parent group calls themselves Eagle Eyes, after the school's mascot, the eagle. Their safety efforts began last week. It's great, Baggett said. Right now there have been horns honking when people drive by, a lot of parents giving them thumbs up and saying this is great. It's really bringing the community together, and the kids and the parents love it. It's really a win-win for everybody. It's going really well. According to Baggett, in order for a parent volunteer to become part of the group, they must successfully pass a fingerprint and background check. Once eligible to participate, Baggett then trains the parent in using the school's high-tech walkie-talkies to relay information to Baggett or the front office. Volunteers also wear a fluorescent green construction vest. We do it all confidentially, and we don't say kids' names, but if there are any immediate concerns, we can inform the school through the walkie-talkies, McNeely added. The first day I did it by myself, and I just started kind of coming up with what works best for me, but it kind of been a learning process, just walking on the campus and paying attention and being a set of eyes out there, McNeely said. McNeely said also that 2 to 3 volunteer work a shift at a time and guide parents and visitors to follow the school protocol by checking in at the front office to get a guest pass. Parent volunteers also scour the school's surrounding areas and trails to make sure there is no suspicious activities in the area, such as nearby Condon Park. Baggett said the group serves as an important purpose for the school due to the reports in recent years of vehicles approaching different students in the area attempting to abduct them. That kind of impetuous for people that want to make sure their kids are safe, Baggett said, that kind of caused us all to say that we need more teachers out on duty to keep an eye out to what's happening around the school. But the parents ended up volunteering, which worked out great. According to McNeely, the school recently began installing cameras on campus. That made us all happy because after the incident a few months ago, we had mentioned to Baggett that we had cameras, we would have a picture of the person. Now we're going to have cameras at all parts, different parts of the school. It's just another safety measure for us. McNeely said she currently has 6 volunteers, an additional 2 going through background checks procedures. She encourages parents, grandparents, and stakeholders in the school to get involved with the Eagle Eyes to keep their children safe. It also just being there for the kids with a big smile in the morning, McNeely said. Maybe they have a rough morning at home, so we get to be there to let the parents know that we're there and we're watching. So it feels great all the way around. McNeely added, I would hope that other schools pick it up because it's not just Scotton. There's a lot of moms at all the schools, and when you put on that vest and the kids notice you in that vest, you become the safe person for them to come to, and it makes a difference in their day. And that is true. They should do it in all the schools.